Orange County housing inventory fell again. I'm Eric Engelbert with Orange County Real Estate, and welcome to our weekly market report where we talk about the real estate data for the past 7 days and compare that to what's going on in the United States. There was one data point that stood out today that'll be on our third slide, and it's in regard to close price versus list price. So let's jump right into the data, and our first slide is our inventory slide. Here, Orange County residential units for sale dropped again, 2,293. Actually, last week was the first week where it stayed steady. We've been dropping almost the entire year so far, which was unexpected. Everybody expected there to be a flood of inventory. Lots of bearish people on the housing market are expecting there to be a flood of inventory, and it just has not happened. And there's nothing really in the data showing that it's going to happen either. I mean, people are in such good positions with their mortgages, and also with the equity that they've increased over the past couple of years. So homeowners are in great position. There's no data point suggesting that there's going to be a flood of inventory. So I think for this next year, we're going to be struggling with inventory, and we still do have pretty decent buyer demand. The next line here is the United States. Inventory fell again, about a 1% in the United States for single family homes. It's a very, very low level. To put this into perspective, in 2019, prior to the pandemic, at this same week, we were almost 900,000 single family homes for sale. So, half of that, what we were. So we are a little bit more than last year at this time when we had really low rates and a frenzy of buying. But we also had a lot of sales last year too. This year we have low inventory and a low total number of sales. All right, the next line is the under contracts and pendings in Orange County. This has gone up again. This keeps going up, 1,885. That's telling me that there's still buyer demand. Buyers are still buying and writing offers and getting offers accepted. So that's still happening. Again, I touch on this every week. There are good loans out there. Portfolio lenders like Bank of the West and US Bank have been offering really good loans. So if you are a buyer, know that there are some good loans out there. I know that the interest rates that are being marketed are like 6%, 6.25%, but I've seen some 5% 30-year fixed rate loans go out. Even 5.25% fixed for 30 years at 90% loan to value. So that's only 10% down. That's a really good loan. They're still out there. All right, new listings in the last 7 days, that dropped down almost by 100. So we only had 410 new listings. I really felt like this was going to go up again this week, or at least stay at 500, but this dropped. So inventory is still an issue. Hopefully this is just a little blip this week, and next week we go back up, but we'll keep an eye on that. Total solds last week, this also went up. 341, so that went up slightly, as with the under contract and pending. So a lot of that inventory that was sitting over the holidays is being sold, so our days on market's going down. Let's go to the next slide, which is our days on market slide. Last week we got a clean sweep of everything dropping, and a couple areas dropping considerably, like the over 2 million last week had a big jump. This week everything's staying about the same. All the arrows are pointing up, but it's 1 day. Median days on market's gone up 1 day, average days on market's gone up 2 days. Under a million stayed the same at 30 days. And then between 1 million and 2 million went up 2 days to 32, and over 2 millions at 52 days. So still really good demand across the board there. And we'll continue to keep an eye on that. But basically these stats are just telling us that homes are selling in this period of time. So that's really good buyer demand. Again, that's mostly because low inventory. All right, our next slide is our key stats. This is where we had the biggest surprise this week, and you can see I put the stars there. But first line is OC median single family list price. That went up to 1.6. I forgot to change that arrow. OC median condo list price also went up to 750. So those are just slight changes, nothing major. So that actually the single family home list price, that jumped, that's a big number, but that goes back and forth per week. Because sometimes we have huge homes that get sold and huge homes that get listed. I wanted to note one other thing on the days on market slide, and that is there's a handful of homes that have been listed, I think 15 homes that are listed for over a year and a couple that are over 2 years. And those are luxury homes. There's one home in La Habra, actually. I guess I don't want to sell it. It's been listed for like 2 years. It's only 750,000. But those are really throwing off the average days on market. So once those sell, we just have those homes that are listed for 700 days, 400 days, 500 days. That's a long time. But sometimes those unique homes take a long time to sell. And that could cause these median list prices to change too. When one of those luxury ones bump, or we have a handful of sales, the median changes obviously. But all right, OC median condo list price, that went up a little bit. Okay, so this is the big change here. Sold price versus list price in the entire county for all property types. That is changed to 7.5% higher. So all residential properties sold 7.5% higher, and last week was 2.4% less. And then I broke that down a little bit. I thought that was such a huge jump. I kind of dove into that data a little bit and noticed that for single family homes in Orange County, the sold price versus list price was 10.3% or 150,000 over ask. This hasn't happened since last year when rates were super low. That's a huge jump, and I hope it's just a blip, just a 1 week thing. I hope this week we don't see the same trend. I hope this doesn't become a trend, because that's really not healthy for the market. So we will keep a close eye on what's happening here, but that's a big change. Now, if you're a seller, again, there's lots of buyer demand. So if you're a seller, you can expect your property to be sold quickly. But if you're a buyer, we are now starting to see people having to write offers for over the list price. The prior week, we were seeing multiple offers and buyer competition, but we weren't seeing overbidding. So now this week, we're seeing overbidding. So we're definitely going to keep an eye on that. And again, I hope that doesn't happen. I don't think that's really healthy for the market, but we will see what goes on, and we'll see next week. And then the median price of closed single family homes. I want to start keeping an eye on this. And just to get an idea of our home values, if they're going up, if they're going down. So the median price of the closed single family homes, it went up a little bit from last week, 1.15. So hopefully this will tell us if there's any trends, especially if something's dropping, because I am not seeing values dropping. Of course, there are some markets that are dropping. San Francisco, for example, that city's been struggling for 2 years, and their price is now lower than it was 2 years ago. People have been moving out of that city. People aren't, they don't need to live there because they don't have to work there. They're working remotely. Office space in that city is like 50% vacancy, maybe not that high, maybe 40% vacancy, but very high vacancy rates for offices. And now there's not really a huge demand to live in that city, so values are dropping. Orange County, we don't have that problem. People do want to live here. We're not as congested. We're not a huge city. You can get properties with some space. Again, I always talk about Orange County being in a little bit of a bubble. So we want to keep an eye on what the values are here and see if there is any trend upward or downward. But right now we've been holding steady, and I think that's because of our inventory and still pretty strong buyer demand. All right, the next slide is Costa Mesa single family homes. Average list price went up slightly. Days on market went up 1 day, basically the same. Price reductions, we had a couple more properties that had price reductions, or 3 more, so there's now 13 out of 37 relisted. I think there's only 1 that's relisted, and total inventory 37, so we added 1 from last week. Nothing crazy to note there. Same with the condos. The average list price went down just a little bit. Days on market jumped up to 62. The days on market here for the condos, we have a couple highly priced condos, 1.7 and 1.5. Those are new ones, actually. So some of these old ones that are still priced pretty high are bringing these days on market up. But 3 weeks ago, I think we're at 72. So at least we're down a little bit. And I always think this is surprising because this price point has a lot of interest, and they usually sell quickly, this lower price point than single family homes. But our average list price on condos is pretty high. All right, price reductions. We've had 7 homes with price reductions. That's about the same. Relisted, we only have 1 that's been relisted. Total inventory 22, so we did sell a couple. So that's good. All right, that's all the data points here. If you guys can think of another data point that you're interested in or that you think I should be reporting on every week, please put that note in the responses below. If you are considering selling in any part of Orange County, this data is important for you, and we can get it narrow it down to your exact neighborhood. You want to know what the average days on market is, what the average price is, if people are overbidding on the other homes. It would be, it's nice to know that stuff. It sets your expectations for your sales. For your selling period as well. And then again, there's going to be some homes that are listed for 100, 200 days, and then others that accepted an offer in 2 or 3 days. We can show you the difference between those two, and that might help your home present well to potential buyers. If you are buying, remember there are good loans out there. If you want to talk about some places to get a good loan, feel free to contact us. You can call or text. And if you're looking in a specific area, we can help you target that area and let you know what's happening there if people are overbidding. Also, we find off-market properties every week, so make sure you're on our email list for that, and those emails go out on Fridays. So if you need to contact us, please feel free. Don't hesitate. You can call, text, or email. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great week.